get back on as quickly as possible. Murphy's Law just kind of seems to work that way sometimes. All right, so if I could share my screen, I can start the presentation.
I'll give you access. This is, oh,
Evelyn, is this any way you can start the meetings with the live before we do the roll call and start?
not that I know of, but you have to have the meeting started and then go live. Okay, I'm making you host, so you should be able to share your screen.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. Why does it look like this? Oh, let me stop sharing. Okay, now you should be able to share.
Is that Mr. Allen?
It is.
Where's my can of sunshine?
I'm bringing it with me. I
Oh,
deliver.
okay.
I deliver.
Hi, Alan. Hi, Melanie.
I got mine last week, Maddie.
You
I brought
did.
it right directly to her. I deliver.
Right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we are XP League East Oakland, and what we are is a esports league, and what we do is we offer several different video games that kids can play in a structured environment. So it works a lot like intramural sports where there's seasons, so there's 4 seasons in a year, and each season is 8 weeks. And so what that includes is an hour and a half of play time for each child, as well as an hour and a half of practice time so they can work on their skill, work on their trades. And so with XP League, our goal is to work with children between the ages of 8 and 15 and create a structured coach-led team environment. The teams can be anywhere from 3 to up to 7 to 8 players. And what these kids get to do is between Fortnite, Rocket League, Overwatch, and Valorant, they get to join and be a part of this this experience. Now, the advantage to XP League is that what it does is it creates a structured environment for them to work with a coach. Each team will have their own coach, and each coach is certified through the PCA, which is the Pontiac Positive Coaching Alliance. And so they'll be dual certified, and dual in the sense that they coach to win, as well as they coach to teach life skills. So each child that gets to be a part of these teams, they're going to be part of a group that's going to be learning life skills that they can use down the road as they grow and become independent adults. What we're focusing on is on the child enrichment space. And so what the child enrichment, just in terms of creating a platform for them to play video games, but it creates a platform for them to open up and discover who they are as an individual. This is something that you can have extremely athletic kids playing. You can have kids who have, maybe may have disabilities, and they can still feel comfortable to participate and be part of this team environment. And so what a season would look like is there's week 1, which would be the tryout placement. So we use the word tryout loosely. Every child who wants to be involved in this would be able to be a part of it. What we do is we just do a skills assessment to determine where they would, what team they'd be best suited for. After that first week, it goes into weeks, after that first tryout, it goes into weeks 1 through 6. And at that point, what they do is they play 1 match per week, which is approximately 2 to 3 hours, as well as during the weekday, they have a practice of approximately 1.5 to 2 hours. After week 6, we go into a doubleheader playoff match where they can determine a champion. And then that top champion has the potential of, and then inevitably to nationals, which is actually the North American finals. This year is going to be in August in North Carolina. And so then that concludes one whole season. And so that would happen potentially 4 times a year. The benefit with XP League is a few different things. Aside from children being able to develop certain life skills and also being part of a team environment, family can be involved as well. We do a lot of live streaming, so parents can watch, they can share it with their friends as well via Facebook Live, Discord, Twitch, Instagram Live. Here's a quick video.
Right there, that's my son. They just wiped out the rest of the team.
That's why my mom. And somehow
We would get together and watch the Twitch stream like it was a professional event.
So that gives you an example of how parents can be involved in the overall process. While the kids are playing, we have casters that are giving play-by-play as far as what's going on, and then parents can watch that and be heavily involved. Another great thing about XP League is the jerseys. So every child that joins a team, based on whatever mascot they choose to be on, they get this great looking jersey that comes with their gamer tag on the back of their jersey as well, and they get to keep that. They play that wear that during all the game days. And so what we would love to do is we'd love to work with the city of Pontiac. We'd love to work with the Pontiac Library. So our first location that we're going to be opening up is going to be in Troy. And we would love to be able to create an opportunity for the children of Pontiac to work with you at the library and set something up at your facility so that the children of Pontiac can be able to participate in this as well. So ideally, if we could, we would love to see if we can get a space around 1,000 square feet. That would allow us to set up the stations, so therefore the kids can be socially distant in a safe environment. And we would supply all the materials in terms of laptops, mouse pads, lighting, things of that nature. We would just need a high-speed internet connection and electricity to plug into, and then we could take care of the rest. But essentially what we would need is like a three-month agreement with 3 hours on the weekends and about 2 to 3 hours on the weekdays for practice time.
Yeah, 1 weekday and 1 weekend. And the weekend, as of right now, those are Saturday matches.
Correct, yes. Now, currently the program fee is $3.99. That's what we're charging for kids for each child to be in part of the, to play in the game or to play in any league. But for Pontiac, what we were trying to do is we wanted to make it a little bit more cost effective. So we're dropping the price to $3.49 per child. And that way they would be able to be on a team. They would get a custom jersey each season that they play. And then that would provide all the hardware, coaching, back-end safety, everything else would be provided for them. So in terms of opportunity for the children, I mean, this would be great for kids who obviously love to play games, who want to be in a structured environment. There are tons of opportunities in terms of scholarships that are out there. Oakland University, for example, they have a esports team on a collegiate level. And Cleary University or Cleary College in Michigan, they just announced they have a scholarship program for children who are interested in joining their university and to play esports. So what this does is it helps children on a very early level develop the skills and the tools needed, so as they get older, they can create more opportunities for themselves. They can qualify for scholarships, attend university, get an education at the same time while building a career for themselves. Aside from being a gamer, there are 2 other opportunities for kids to grow within our XP League. For children that are interested in sports management or esports management, they have an opportunity to become a coach where they could teach and train specific games that we offer to the teams or to a specific team that they decide that they want to coach for. We would cover their dual coaching certificate, which would teach them how to teach other kids how to not only win, but also teach them life skills, how to disconnect from the computer and how to be okay with that and not struggle. A lot of people struggle with anxiety after when they're away from their devices. Through our coaching program, it would help teach children to step away from the device, but also be okay with that in a healthy environment. In addition to that, individuals who are interested in becoming a social media influencer, or they're interested in getting into broadcasting, we also have an area where they can be a caster. In the video that you saw a little bit earlier, there was, when you saw the video game playing, there was a person on the bottom corner kind of cheering them on, getting excited for certain key moves that were done. And those individuals are called casters. It's essentially broadcasters for the video game itself or for the tournaments. And so this would be an opportunity for children to get exposure in how to become a caster, how to become familiar with the equipment, and how to really work on their presence when they speak in front of a camera. So, really there's 3 different ways that we can help develop children and create an opportunity for them to grow and create a strong future for them.
Well, thanks, Sharab. This is Alan, Mr. Allen, and I'm a partner with Harry and Sharab. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself, of how I fit into this as a team leader. And I've been around the community for a long time, and I've brought up a lot of young men through working at, Mr. Allen's, learning different skill sets and going on to college and building careers as stockbrokers, lawyers, all sorts of opportunities. So in the background, I brought Sharab and Harry in because this was an important factor to me for the city of Pontiac. I know we could open these in Birmingham, Bloomfield, Novi, and have no problem getting all sorts of kids. But what I want here is exactly what Sharab said, is to be able to train these young men and women to go on and get scholarships. This is the biggest sport there is today. It's in every college, and any college that doesn't have it is craving it. Oakland University is craving having us over there to bring in the young students that will eventually go to their college and win scholarships. And it's right in our backyard, and we want them to get scholarships. And we're going to be working right out of the Oakland University to draft our kids right there. And we're going to be doing, what did you call it, Sharab? Like a playoff? What was it?
A tournament. Correct.
Tournament.
Yes, we're looking to do a tournament in July.
We're going to be doing tournaments, and that means we're going to get these young children acquainted with college, used to being around a college, wanting to desire to go to scholarship. And another thing that Sharab brought up that really enticed me with this was kids with disabilities can actually play these games. It is not like a race. This is something hand-eye coordination using your brain. And you know what? I love the underdog getting the opportunity. And if it's a disability, it's a disability. Or the knowledge that they pick up from this. And the other thing that Sharab brought up in there was the travel. Nationals, okay. Yeah, to us, maybe it's not as big of a deal, but can you imagine? And I don't want to say a nerdy kid, but I want to say a kid that doesn't play baseball, football. This is a big sport for them to play in intellectually. And he can travel to, where did you say the Nationals were going to be, Sharab?
North Carolina.
North
Raleigh,
Carolina. What a beautiful area to go to. And you know what's nice? We will get donated money for these kids to travel and get outside of Pontiac. So this is, to me, I don't think there's anything bigger than we can do, is other than educate our youth and give them a sport that they can actually excel at. And Sharab, I'd like you to mention your background in, where you came from as well. Besides banking and sports, you did what?
Event production.
Event production.
So I've spent about 20 plus years in event production. Essentially, so my.
He's freezing up.
You broke up on me too.
space for the South Asian demographic.
You're
I'm sorry,
breaking
can you
up.
hear me?
You're breaking up.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's that internet connection. I apologize. Am I sounding better now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
So my background is, so throughout, my life, I've hosted past for the 20 years, several events for the South Asian demographic, whether it be from comedy shows to bringing artists down for performances. And so I have a lot of passion for bringing people together and creating an ultimate experience. And that's exactly what we want to do with the space. We don't kind of envision or anticipate kids just coming into a computer lab. We want to create an environment where they come in and they're blown away.
Yeah.
We want to have up lights so we can create mood lighting. We want to create excitement when they win or they do something great, like a really cool move. We want to create an environment that gets them so excited that they want to come to the library. They want to visit and just hang out at the library. And then from there, they can trickle on into other aspects of the library, whether it be cooking programs or picking up a book or poetry or what have you, seeing something, and just building off that culture.
Yeah, reading a book. A big deal.
Library.
At the library. What a
How about that?
thought, right? So getting kids into the library, what a wonderful idea. So besides Sharab, I partnered with Harry here as well, because he also brings something super special from his skill sets of where he came from. Harry, would you mind mentioning about where you came from and what you do?
Yeah, so our family's been involved in, I would call it organized sports for decades, in the sense that my dad started doing it with bringing indoor tennis to Michigan. And we did it, my brother and I did it by opening up Oakland Yard Athletics, which is a 10-acre indoor-outdoor sports complex, but also for holding events. So anything from adult flag football to Lego camps in the summer, a broad range of things. They actually even had a flight camp. So we would take the kids and take them, to Oakland Airport. And they, by the end of the week, they got to take a plane up on a Friday. I didn't do that camp, but so we, Oakland Yard Athletics is still up and running today. It's in Waterford on M59. But basically, we saw an opportunity. So this is the most popular sport. But there is nothing in the recreational space. It's only on the pro space and on the college and high school teams. I said, where's the Tuesday night a bowling or basketball or soccer leagues? Where's the Wednesday night this or that? So there was nothing for kids or for adults. So we came up, Sharab and Alan and myself in our research came across XP League. And we started talking to the owners, Jay and Ava, and who do live in Raleigh, North Carolina. And we kind of fell in love with them and their whole back end as far as how organized they are and their mission statements. So I heard story after story of, like Sharab mentioned, this is in the child enrichment space, but about getting an introverted child out and getting them on part of the team and making that child feel like I have to be there, I have to play, I can't let my teammates down, I'm part of something now. And not to say that all these kids are introverted, but there is an aspect of that in esports where you have just, you see kids like this who live like this all day. And whether it's on their phone, so an esport technically can be for your phone, it doesn't have to be from the Xbox. So really that's the popularity of it is more than we even realize. So
Harry?
Yeah.
What's the percentage between girls and boys that are playing in these sports?
So I've heard you got to start getting into different age demographics within that, but I've heard overall it's close to 40% women right now.
Okay.
So I've seen different numbers, give or take 5% margin of error, but I've seen different numbers. Like at certain ages it's closer to 50, but in other ages it might be closer to 29 or 30.
For me, on my side, I think it's such a activity to, whether it's a bigger brother or a father or a mother, whoever's coaching these teams. I myself, a lot of people don't know, but I had 5 children, and I was a single parent bringing up my 5 kids. But I coached 4 leagues at the same time with 4 kids. Stacy was not an athlete, my daughter. She was a singer. No.
What?
But,
No, I danced. I can't sing, but thanks for that. He doesn't even know.
But I had 4 hockey players, and one of my hockey players was my youngest daughter. And so I was out there coaching, and I didn't even know hockey, you know, but it was about being with the kids, helping the kids, having the kids have that experience, that camaraderie. I just, you know, I think we're missing that link in Pontiac, and I think this is the link, especially with COVID, with all the kids stuck at home now. If there's a crisis, they can still compete at home. We prefer not that because it's a team sport, but they can, if they're sick or they're at home, they can still compete with it, be on the team, and beat the crap out of West Bloomfield. All right, that's as much as I have to say.
Thanks, Alan.
Okay. Was there any more to the presentation? If not, I'll open it up for questions and comments from the board. Okay, Melanie, is your hand up, and Vernita, your hand up?
Yes.
Vernita?
Yes, I had a couple of questions, and first, and one comment. A lot of you know that I'm on the civic engagement liaison for the Pontiac Oakland University Initiative, and I've been communicating with Dave Dulio, who's on my pillar, and so we've already got it set up to talk to the athletic department at Oakland University, and he asked me, just texted me yesterday saying, when can we get started? And I said, well, we're having a meeting with the library board because that's where we want to house it. So we got a meeting tomorrow, and I will update you right after that. He was like, great, I can't wait. And so just to let you know that I'm going to make those introductions via email so that you can pursue the opportunity at Oakland University, where they already have established esports and want to also provide coaching and training for the kids in their sporting events. So you're going to get that as well. The second thing I wanted to clarify, so everything you need from the library, this is a turnkey solution. So only thing you're going to need from us is bandwidth and space.
And power.
Right? And power. Okay. The last thing I want to know is, do you have an advertising or marketing plan, or is that something you're looking to collaborate with the library as we send out our information to the community, and you piggyback off of that, or do you have something separate that you're going to establish with
So
the library?
it was a little bit of both, actually. So
Okay.
we definitely have our own marketing plan that we're going to be implementing in this area and letting everyone know that XP exists. But then we'd love to also partner with you, with the library, and do micro targeted advertising to let them know that there's a strategic partnership we're excited about, and get the word out. So both, to answer the question.
Perfect.
And Vernita, if I may add something, just so you know, we've been also talking to the esports coach Carl Leone at OU.
Good.
So, yeah, so he knows all about us and how we're trying to host that tournament we were talking about there, possibly in their basketball arena with 4 large, screens.
What's his name again, Harry?
Coach Carl Leone, CarlLeone. And he's a great guy. We've had a couple Zoom talks with him, and he's all for it. But as he mentioned, he's just taking the normal administrative steps, asking for permission here and here and here and here.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but I didn't want, I wanted you to know that, so that maybe their efforts can be coordinated.
Yep, perfect. And that's why I got wanted the correct spelling of his name. So I'll make sure I put that in my correspondence.
He looks like he's
so much.
16.
Well, don't we all?
Okay, Melanie?
Great. Good evening, everyone. I just have 3 questions. The average household income in Pontiac is $27,632 a year. The average family.
Melanie, we need to mute me because you're echoing. Come here.
Okay. Thanks.
I don't see the mute button.
I got you. Where you at? Gotta do this. Let's show later. That shouldn't have happened. Hold on. 1 second. Go back to you.
Who is that?
I don't know who that is. You are here and you are muted.
And show her how to unmute. Well, you just click on that button, Maddie, when you're ready to talk. That same button. See?
Great. So family average single income here is 27,632. Average family medium is 35,420. To pay for 20 students would be $6,780. Do you have sponsors for the children? Because the average medium income, no one will be able to afford that unless they made $53,350. So my only reservation is how are 20 children going to come up with $6,780.42?
Sure, and
Excellent question.
It's a great question, absolutely. And we recognize that it's, the price is a little bit higher. And so, what our thought process was to work with partners, to work with community partners, to work with corporate partners. And our objective is to develop, a program, whether it be, individual programs with corporations or, a combination between corporate and community partners. But essentially, we would work with different community and corporate partners to help sponsor individual players, as well as to sponsor individual teams as well.
Okay.
And I think, I don't know if Max is here, but he already, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't know if Max could speak up, but he already started getting some funding, Melanie, to help towards the possibility of paying for this already, that there's actually money just sitting out there with no use right now.
And I think that Oakland University may be another resource for you all, as well as I think I mentioned PAL to Alan a couple of weeks ago. So we're looking at several resources. Go ahead.
Yeah, the sponsors that have been sponsoring my kids programs for the last 3 years saw the demonstration, and they already verbally agreed to sponsor each kid up to $300 a term. So, and that's between 10 and
Melanie.
Okay,
And then Rosie.
You've answered my question. I'm all for it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Melanie.
Okay, it's not showing up on my screen. Rosie and then Maxie. Rosie?
She disappeared.
She disappeared?
Yeah.
Okay, Maxie?
Yes, good evening, HBO Maxine. I am treasurer of the.
We can't hear him.
They can't hear him.
Because he's muted.
Can you come over here and get on my phone?
Oh, you have to unmute.
That's what I was trying to do.
It says unmute.
Okay, you unmute.
Good evening, can you hear me?
No.
No,
Oh, it says unmuted.
no, you have to push unmute so that you'll be unmuted. Mr. Mayor.
Good evening, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
My name is HBO Maxey. I'm one of the fortunate ones to be a part of the library board, a great professional group of people. A sense that we're a core of the community as far as communication connected links. I was taking notes. I said the following: I have a lot of experience in programs throughout from Wayne County, in particular, and Oakland County for the last 30 years on dealing with youth, adults, and young adults. I have 5 areas of concern. And one, I want to talk about the fact that you realize that you're entering a culture that's emotional. Multicultural experience I'm asking for, I'm looking at the disability and the education aspects, and along with multicultural is the cultural sensitivity. I understand that you have funds for this program to an extent, but may I ask at the very beginning, then you could address the other 5. Your initial funding comes from what source?
Initial funding for us in terms of funding the
The whole
business, or
total program, the initial funding come from what source? Federal, state, or private sector?
Private.
From the private sector.
Yeah, if you're talking about what our XP League in general,
if you're
The
talking about our
total-
equipment,
Are you talking about the equipment that is there?
No, I'm talking about the program has to have initial funding. You know, your initial monies come from where? You said not private, I mean, you said not state, not federal, and you're saying the private sector.
yes, and specifically the private sector.
It's too much of an echo. Excuse me for about 30 seconds, please.
But while he's doing that, Rosie, did you want to ask your question?
Sure. My question to you guys, and thanks so much. I'm excited about it. And being a educational administrator.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. My first question, your initial funding resource for what you said is from the private sector, meaning not the state and not the federal government has no monies involved in this. Am I correct?
Correct.
the government has no money involved in this, correct?
No monies whatsoever. So therefore, your guidelines and et cetera with the private sector, you're able to massage those guidelines if necessary to fit the categories of what you explained at the core of the program was all about. So that's great to know. Secondly, the cultural sensitivity. I'm looking at the disability, the multiculturalism, which has a marriage to the cultural sensitivity, and the education process, and the emotional. Before I switched over, I talked about the emotional state. Are you very much aware of our culture as far as the youth that you'll be dealing with, as far as that emotional state is concerned? And in this case, emotion happens to be part of a culture because we live in this locale and because we're in this city.
But these are the same kids who come to the library anyway, Mr. Maxey.
Excuse me, I didn't hear you.
I said, these are the same kids that come to the library anyway. These are not going to be like a totally different population of kids. They're still going to be the same services that we currently provide. Part of the same.
I understand that.
Okay.
Even we don't 100% deal with our emotional kids.
Sure.
There's always a situation, but understanding leaving no stones unturned. The emotional culture is very important. Whether it be the same kids, new kids, or whatever, you cannot erase that. And this culture is under the umbrella of a great deal of emotional youth. And that's from the when they're adolescents to the middle school and the high school. It's just something we have to deal with. In my experience here, over 30, 35, 40 years, a lot of programs come into the city. It's the first time I've been a part of one that sounds like it's really a heartfelt, I won't say legitimate because they all claim legitimacy. Seems as though you guys have a heartfelt period there. And I would really love to see the program in writing, because once we get into it, there's no turning back, so to speak. When I said turning back, letting the program because of inactivity or whatever, we got to make sure all the I's and T's are dotted. like I said, I'm very familiar from this, from employment, training, on over to the program you're speaking of. And I'd love to see that your whole program written out to go over.
Can I also let you know that this is a national franchise? This is not something that we're making up or just putting together. Sir, this is an actual franchise that we are buying a part of to be a part of, so it is socially accepted, and that it already is up and running. It's nothing we're making up or trying to design right now. We're trying to actually bring it to the city of Pontiac to help the children.
I understand that sort of other programs throughout the years.
I'm
Similar
sure.
statement that you're making, other programs throughout the years, program presentation have been the same. I didn't mean to imply that we're making up, but I do understand the culture of Pontiac and the families from day one up until they're 21 years of age. And I expect any program that comes, anyone to bring a program here has to have that in-depth understanding. I didn't say I was suspect.
Well, truthfully, that was
excuse me, let me finish.
Trying to tell you the background of the three of us, where I've been around the city of Pontiac now for 30 years. And I have worked with youth of Pontiac for 30 years now. So I'm not a newcomer to the city of Pontiac. And the other people involved with me also have been working with youth as well. So we absolutely appreciate what you're saying. And we are 100%, I want you to know, for exactly what you're saying. And we will follow everything you are saying.
Great, great. Now you're allowing me to talk, to continue my speaking. I understand exactly. You've been around 30 years. I've lived here for 60 years. From 1967 up until now, all type of programs through the CEDAR. In fact, I ran the CEDAR program in employment, youth, and training for years. What I want to be assured of is that you really understand the community, what is needed. And it seems like the subject that we've been talking about, you seemingly know what you're doing. But I also understand that the stats had to come from the back of the Pontiac community. And I'm familiar with OU. Don't get me started. I'm not short-sighted. I'm familiar with OU and sit on many boards at Oakland U.
Maybe if you ask your question, they can help you.
Somebody is running the meeting.
Excuse me.
Go on with your other comment and question.
Yeah, only thing that I'm saying, I for one, I'm going to be definitely sure. You can say, and I have no doubt or belief, but I'm programmatic. I spent 30 doggone years in the military from A to Z. Dotted I cross every T, and I have no doubt that you're a great program. But because it's OU doesn't mean that it's going to automatically, connected to going to automatically work.
Honestly, all we could do, sir,
excuse me.
All we could do is
excuse
our
me.
best.
I'm not against that. I'm just saying, I like what I hear, but I would like to see the program.
You have to mute the rest of the people in Bill Maxey room because it's an echo.
Yeah, I'd like to see the program and our board discuss it before we make any decision.
So
we would love to send that to you.
Yeah, you're talking about writing? Okay, that's not a problem.
And I don't know whether the chair have you come here and present or not. I don't know.
Yes, I did. We said we wanted to have them to make a presentation.
Okay.
Mr. Maxey.
Anyway, those are my concern. And as you see, evidently someone's not used to someone like myself speaking up and was continuing to interrupt.
Actually,
I am a military person, very strong on ethics and principles. However,
is there
that's
any
good enough,
way
sir.
that
That's
you
good
could
enough.
give us a list of those concerns so that we can actually follow up? If you would write up a list of these concerns, I personally will answer every single one of them to the best of my knowledge.
No list. The Pontiac culture is as it is. I'm just one leader in this city. There is not the Bill Maxey list. There's a whole board list and other people that are concerned with genuine programs. You know, like I said, sounds good to me, but don't put off on my list. No.
Oh, I just wanted to make sure you were happy, because I don't want you to have any concern that because we won't come in. If the city does not want us, I want you to know, we will not come do this. We will only do this if we are welcomed and it's something that the city feels that's good for the city.
Okay, I understand. I never this said the city won't, but as usual, this is the talk I've got from OU and I ended. Don't put words in my mouth. I said, I understand. I really like what I hear. It's not what we don't like. I'm just one person. And I tell you, dot the i's and cross the t's. I like what I hear, but don't think you can come in and just dictate and put words in my mouth. I didn't say that. I'm accepting.
what?
I'm just one vote and I voice my opinion. And this is how I feel. I'm a very structured person.
We
Okay,
appreciate
thank you very much for listening to me. And those are not my concerns. It's the city of Pontiac, mothers and fathers, grandfathers, uncles and aunts concerned. So don't come here with the OU Bill Maxley. These are your concerns.
I really don't know what the OU means.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm
Mr.
sorry if I
Jackson.
offended you.
We also recognize that,
Mr. Allen,
Yes, Ms. Hatchett.
I will approach Mr. Maxey to make sure he totally understands if it's anything that's not covered in this meeting that he wants an answer to. I'll get it from him and get it to you.
I'd be happy to answer him, Maddie. I am not trying to be evasive
understand that.
or avoiding anybody or anything. I believe of going through problems, not around them.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was more about
Rosie,
clarity.
were you next? Did you have your hand up before I left? Who did? Miss Richardson, I said Rosie.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I did. I guess a couple of things. I'm sure that as a board, it would, if we invite this group in and we vote on this, that as educators, and having a postgraduate degree in special education, if we have special needs and dealing with emotions, that's something we're willing to step in and do. The other question I had was in respect, you did answer part of it saying as far as funding for the kids to go to out of state to North Carolina and other competition, that there would be places that could be listed. So how would that work if there's not enough funding for kids to be able to go to those competitions in other places, and housing and chaperones?
Great question. Thank you. So what we would do is, so if a child got to the stage where they made it, they won the championships locally and they got to the regionals. So currently regionals are done, they're done remotely, so it would still be here. But what we would do is we would set up a venue where the team could play, and then, people can watch and be part of that. But for children that aren't able to afford the expenses, we would reach out to our corporate partners, between Harry, Alan, and myself, between our networks, we know so many different businesses. My background, I'm in finance, I work in banking, I manage a bank in Detroit. And so, just between all of our networks, we would find a way to make sure that if a kid made it to the regionals or made it to the finals, we would make sure we found a way that they got there.
Right.
That's
okay. Because
that's not
I
even
know
a concern of ours, at least in our mind.
I think the overall franchise also has funding in place too for such things, because only a set number of kids get to go, so they know that number ahead of time coming in.
Okay, that's fine. But that's also something that I've dealt with as far as competition for kids, as far as getting funding and so forth. That's why I was asking the question. Okay, I think you've answered my question.
What we have to do tonight is get a feel for if we want to pursue this endeavor. And if we do, see, it's not an automatic thing, because they have to come back and look at the library and the other spaces that we have to see if it's even available space that's suitable. So what we need to do is do some guidance here in terms of if we want to pursue this further, and then action on this item would occur at the end of this month at our regular meeting. So I need some direction as to whether we want to pursue this or not. Melanie, you have your hand up.
I make the motion that we pursue this avenue for our children and for our community, and we further go to so that we can vote on.
I can't really hear you, Melanie.
Can you hear me?
Not well.
Mute yourself.
I'd really like to hear you.
Try now.
I don't know. Can you hear me now?
A little better.
I hear you.
Okay, I make the motion that we continue this conversation as an action vote item on the, what day? Ma'am?
End of the month, I forgot.
End of the month, out of the meeting, so that we can secure this program. I think it's awesome. I make.
Is
I
there
have one other
support for
question,
Melanie's
Melanie.
motion?
If,
Wait,
if-
Mr. Allen, you can't talk now.
oh,
Is there support for Melanie's motion? Vanita, you support it? Vanita?
I support the motion, Madam Chair.
Yes,
Rosie
yes, I'm
supports
saying
the
yes.
motion. Now we have discussion, Mr. Allen.
I was wondering the time frame. I know Harry had asked me and Sharab what the time frame for the library that we could actually start the teams to play there.
You're asking Harry or
No, I'm
Rob to
asking
answer that?
actually the board. When would be the time frame that this would be available for the kids to actually be able to compete there?
Well, I need direction from Harry and Sarab about that, because we can't vote on whether we're gonna do this program until the last Thursday in May. So I need an idea from them, what are they looking at as far as the
After we
timeline?
review it,
Because they need to come here to even look at the room, the other rooms we have to see if it's even feasible. That's what I understood from the presentation I attended.
So Stacy, are we talking about Tuesday, possibly seeing the library?
If someone's available to take us around, then yes, we were planning on Tuesday, if that, obviously if the board is
This
open.
coming Tuesday?
We'd
what
like
time?
to come and take a tour so that the guys can see the rest of the library and the room. I know that there's a room that Perry has, was the karate room, and
This spectacular room.
other assorted other spaces that you thought, Madam Chair.
What time on Tuesday?
What works for the group? We have whenever.
11
What I will do is get a volunteer, somebody to be here.
Okay.
I'll appoint somebody and I may be here myself.
I'm okay to be there.
All right, Perry Earl has volunteered to be here to go on the tour.
Okay.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yes,
I wanted to ask, how long is the timeline? How long does it take to come into a room and set this up?
So what we would do is, so let's take a Saturday, for example, let's say a game day, right? And if we were to have a game start at 12 o'clock, we would ideally probably want to get in around 11 o'clock. Not to say that we'd need exactly an hour, but probably the first few times just to get into the swing of how a setup takes place. But essentially we would come in, we would bring our laptops in, set up the laptops, and then we would plug in to the power source and plug into the internet. We do need to do a hardline connection to the router or the modem. What we could do is we could bring our own switch and then just connect to your modem directly. And then from our switch, we can connect to all of our laptops. The other part of it would also kind of be contingent upon if you guys were willing to allow us to be a part of the Pontiac Library. The other part would be, would you allow us to keep some of our equipment there? Because if we could keep some of our equipment there, that would also help offset some of that load in, load out time as well. And then typically a game day would be 1.5 to 2 hours per game per team.
any other
Yeah.
questions or discussion? Melanie, you have a question?
I just want to make sure that you know that I also want to be here and make sure they walk through.
Okay.
We do it at 12, so I can be there for myself. No, you are. Thank you.
Okay, is 12 o'clock okay on Tuesday?
I'll be
Stacy's
here.
giving me a yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it should
Does
be
that
fun.
work,
Mhm.
guys?
Yes.
All right. Perry Earl, is it okay for you?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. The question real quick, is it, so am I correct? You're not setting up the equipment and leaving it. Every time you come, you're setting up the equipment and we're running this program, correct?
No.
Correct.
Yes and no.
Just asked if he
Yes
could.
and no.
I'm
What?
sorry.
Huh?
Explain to him about the equipment setup.
No,
You had asked, could some equipment stay here and that would reduce the time that you would have to set up. And when we talked about this before, if you have a program going on in another part, let's say at that game place, you might have to transport some of the equipment back and forth.
Correct. Correct.
Does that answer your question, Barry?
Yes, I'll talk more.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is your hand up, Melanie? And then I'm gonna call the question. Okay, so noon Tuesday. Perry Earl, Melanie, and Mr. Allen, are you coming? Who's
I
coming?
won't
No.
be. I can't bring that sunshine yet.
No,
so
that's right.
When
So
I have a
Harry
king sunshine,
and,
I'll be there.
Tuesday, I'll be
But
there.
Okay.
I want you to know, Miss Hatchett, that Perry Earl showed me that room and I'm in love with it.
Okay. And I will probably be here too. So we all gonna meet up Tuesday at noon. Well, we got to first vote on the motion to even say if we're moving forward.
Right.
I know, I said we got to vote on it. We in discussion and asking questions. So roll call, please.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Perry Earl?
Perry Earl,
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
are you supporting the motion?
Yes, ma'am. Is it anyway? How do I raise my hand up here?
You got your hand up.
It's that you lower it. The
That was
same,
when I had the question to
the
ask.
same way you raise it is the same way you lower it.
Okay, thank you.
Who's the next person?
I support.
Trustee Richardson?
Trustee.
Yes.
Treasurer Maxey?
Yes.
Yes. Motion passed.
Okay, thank you all so much for the presentation. We
Thank
will
you.
continue on Tuesday.
Thank you. for your
Thank you
time.
so much for your time.
Bob, I need your email address. So when you get with Stacy and send that over to me as soon as you can, please.
All she has to do is put it in chat.
I asked for it in chat, but I don't think he saw it.
I can put it in chat right now.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
everybody, so much. And I myself am very excited for the kids of Pontiac.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the next item is a presentation and update on the pavilion. I want to ask Devin, do you have with you, Devin, what we have spent, how much and what for?
Yes, Madam Chair, it's, I just lost connection in here, so I just had to log back in on my cell phone. So I'm gonna need a few minutes, to get the laptop working again.
Wow, I'm waiting, it's my birthday. Yeah.
We vote to
What do
adjourn?
you need to pull up, what you say, Max?
Did we vote to adjourn?
No,
Oh,
he's at the pavilion.
that's what I thought.
He's trying to find something. Devin, what is it you're trying to find? I'll let them go on with the presentation and then come back.
Oh, yes, that works. I was just gonna pull up the receipt from the restaurant order. That's the main thing. And there's a guardian alarm thing and the flooring.
Do we have available or does the board have the list here, the revised estimated costs? Either, no?
Who did you send it to?
I sent it to Vernita and Melanie.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
No?
Oh, you sent, oh, Vernita did send me something and I did forward to the board. I don't know if it was that, though.
I never got it.
Yeah.
Okay, is there a way that we can share it if I send it to Devin so that everyone can see it on the screen? Or if someone from my team can send it to Devin, that would be much appreciated.
I'm gonna send it to everyone right now.
Thank you. And from there, forgive me, I'm not so
Send it
tech
to
savvy,
us.
but can it be
Email.
shared?
Yes, I can share it. I'm trying to
I
get,
just sent it to you,
I
Devin,
didn't get
and then now I'm gonna send it to everyone else. So I wanted Devin to have it first so that she could set it up on the screen, and now I'm gonna send it to everyone else.
Thank you. Should I start or should I wait?
Please start.
Good evening, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, I am Stacy Bishop. Yes, my claim to fame is Mr. Allen's daughter. However, here I'm speaking on behalf of the Community Cuisine and Farmers Market. So we're coming to you with an updated, revised list because we've come across some loopholes in our adventure in trying to get this project up and running. So when the list gets put on, I'll start. But essentially, the biggest issue we've had is with the hood and an unanticipated cost, an issue with it being not up to code and not usable at all right now. So what we had thought would be 10,000 now is up to 40,000, 45,000 or more. So that dips into a big chunk of our money, and we are working with professionals and have quotes on the details of it. So do you want me to proceed with going through this before it's up on the screen, or would you prefer that I wait?
Well, I don't see it yet. Do you?
I have it.
Thank
Is it
you.
in your email?
This is my email.
Okay, I'm in my email.
I just sent it to you, Maddie, and to everyone else on the board, but I sent it to Devin first. It's on the screen.
it's on the screen. Can you all see it?
Yes, we can. Thank you. So I just want to be very
Oh,
upfront.
Jesus. 117, or nothing.
Yes, just
Just mute me.
so, yes, I want to start with, yes, it looks like a hefty amount, but it's set up in phases and also prioritized so that we can see, because half of that is almost on the hood. So I just want to, excuse me, start off to clarify that my team and I have been working around the clock to gather information and estimates and products, and they're in a lot of different categories, and we may not have anticipated everything because, you know, this is a lot of different categories that we've broken it down into. So these costs are based on products and estimates for labor, and I'm sure there's things that we're not thinking of. So I'm going to break it down by each category, and then whatever questions you have, myself or my team are happy to answer. After this list, I also have a list of questions that I need clarified for our team. So in the phase one, which is critical to open, that we cannot open without these things being up to code. Number one, as you see here for the kitchen and interior, is the hood system, which is estimated for $45,000 or possibly more. So that there's you know, and April has been working on that. So if there's questions after I'm done presenting and you want details on that, I'm sure she's happy to share about that. For restaurant equipment, which I know that Devin has a receipt for, the next on this list is the 10,500, which has already been delivered and right now is on pallets, I believe, still in the pavilion area because there was not room to put it in the kitchen at this time. So that is already delivered, and once everything else is in order, can be put in and placed and installed. The other thing that we realized is an issue is air conditioning. There is heat in the kitchen, however, there's no air conditioning. So with cooks and fryers and ovens, it's gonna get hot. So again, oh, I'm sorry, I missed one. I'll go back to it. Again, that's gonna be $5,000, and it's a mini split, which is installed by Captive in Royal Oak. So that's 5,000. And the walk-in cooler is 8,500, which that one, I'm not sure if that was in the right place, if that was on our top priority or in the second phase. I'm thinking that was in our second phase. That was not a priority to open. So I'll refer back to April after that when we're finished. And then we go on to the upgrade of electrical. We need volt outlets for the food trucks because they need to be hooked up to more energy and power, and that's estimated at $3,000. I know these are hefty prices and very unanticipated by things that we thought we'd need to get this kitchen up and running. So then we have the grease trap disposal, which has to be cleaned. So initially the first time is 400, and then it'd have to be 1,380 for the whole per year to have that cleaned out. And then last, under the kitchen interior, is to replace all the tiles, the drop ceiling tiles. They're broken up, and we have a quote estimated at 460. But I would like to add to, it's actually on my other list. But the other thing is that when one of the hood guys was out, he said that there needs to be an exterminator coming out because there were little bite marks in the top of the ceiling. So that was another incurred expense. Unexpected expense. So do you want me to, what is the best way to do this? Is it to have questions after each category or wait till the end and everyone take notes?
I think you should just wait to the end.
Okay, will do. So I'm gonna continue on this list here. So now we're at security and sanitation. So we have motion lights with silent alarm, and we have 10 outdoor motion sensor lights, which would equal to $679. We have orange cones that would be blockades so people cannot come through, as we're putting the market on. We have face temperature scanner for 2,100 so that we can keep people safe and secure. We have masks, so we can supply masks for people to keep them safe. We also need a hand washing sink, portable. This one I'm not sure about. Portable hand washing sink for
like a prep sink.
Oh, that's for the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's in the wrong area then. That's why I was confused. So that, I'm sorry, that should be.
If I can interject, Stacy, I'm sorry. So the portable hand washing sink is actually something that we would put outdoors for our customers that are coming to the market. If they're enjoying food from food trucks and all that, we want to be able to provide a way for them to wash their hands, especially since there's no access to a public bathroom.
Okay, thank you. So now we are at the last thing, which is a storage shed, which is very important because there's very minimal space in that kitchen, and we're going to have chefs and their utensils or things that we need to store. So that is one that was approximately $1,000. So then we move into the fence removal and sealing of the floor. And the fence removal approximation was for both seal coat and fence removal was $2,600. Did we get a quote for that from someone? Max? Okay, I'll move on and go to that at the end.
Yeah,
here.
Max got a quote for that.
Okay, that's what I thought, why it's combined together. So, and then the next thing on there is when we take the fence down, we need to have something to keep it closed. Well, there's two different options that we have. We have, the clear rollers that we found on Amazon that can be installed and rolled up and down. But I also think that Max is working on getting a quote for to have it drywall and all walls secured. So that's could be part of phase 2 or 3. So after that, we have signage, which is important because we need signage for the McLaren parking and also signs for the farmers market in both entrances. So here we have a quote from 119 Saginaw Done Right Signs for $1,000. We're waiting on another quote. So these are just guesstimates of, needing about 6 poster size signs and some A-frame signs. So again, we're just guesstimating on what we need, and we tried to gather a whole list of things. So then we go to the pavilion and the decor, and we have, we want to teach educational cooking classes and all of those types of things. And so for people to be able to see what's going on out in the pavilion, we wanted to get some sort of TV that we could store and put in. And then we have paint for the pavilion for $980 with the labor. And then we have lighting because we want to really light up the pavilion. And planters and flowers. We're trying to work with MSU Extension and also other, I believe Rosie had told me about other ways that you got donations for plants in the past. So we're looking to really do it up with that. And we also have on here recycling and garbage bins. We need extra of those if we're putting on these events to have outdoors, you know, for people to dispose. And I would love to look into some sort of recycling if that were ever possible. And then we have the additional decor which we had, let me just make sure. Oh, we have the amp system here. We want to have live entertainment and have poetry readings and karaoke and all of that. So that would be $848. And then the last, we had Mike Covington's mom come out, Zoe, and she gave us decor for the bistro tables and lights and just some decor to beautify and brighten up the pavilion area and, you know, the eating area. So that is the first phase of what we have. And then I have a list of other questions, but I feel like I should stop here and gather some feedback, or should I go through the other questions?
You want some, wait a minute. I think Rosie had her hand up.
I do, but I can wait.
Oh,
I can wait, Madam Chair.
I'm trying to unmute myself. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I need to ask the board how you want to proceed at this time. Looking at what has been presented, do you want to hear what else she has to say, or do you want to make comments and ask questions about what has been presented so far?
I've got questions now.
Someone is echoing.
Yeah, because I gotta unmute, I gotta mute myself.
Okay.
Okay.
And I would ask if my team could be on standby too, because this is a lot of information and I may not have all the answers. So if you guys are not.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to chime in and answer any questions because I know it is a lot to digest. I do see that a lot of what we're requesting, we can definitely move to fiscal 2. Of course, some of these items are of concern, are things that are needed in order for the pavilion to be operable. So, you know, at the very least, the hood, regardless whether or not we were operating or another group was operating it, that needs to be done anyways. Electrical is an issue. We have about 2 outlets that are not up to code. Whenever you have outlets in the kitchen, they need to be GFI outlets. And also because we have heavier duty equipment, some of the outlets need to be converted so that they can supply more power. So they need to be converted to 220 volt outlets. So, you know, so when we talk about the basics, basic needs are getting the hood up to code, getting the electrical and the plumbing up to code. We've addressed the flooring partially. And, you know, the other things that are needed, we can tweak the list there. I do foresee that I think 117 that we're requesting, a huge chunk of that, 45, I mean, that's mostly the hood. So when you look at the grand scheme of things, that's only about 68 that we're requesting. And from that, about 40 is actually, about 40,000 is actually what we need at bare minimal to get it up to code.
Devin, would you scroll down so we can see that part? No,
Scroll
I'm up,
Scroll
then,
up.
where she started and talking about the 100 and something, right there, right
And let
there.
me
Put
add-
that on the full screen.
I would just like to add something too, is, you know, we got this together in last minute, and, you know, as I'm combing through it, you know, I think we would have to highlight and prioritize things, because there are things I'm seeing in here that are not necessarily in phase one. So I do apologize, because I see some things that aren't necessarily needed in the priority. So Rosie, someone talking?
I'm sorry.
Okay, this is what I want to do because I'm having difficulty. I want Rosie to make her comment, ask questions first. Melanie had her hand up, and Vanita has her hand up. So go ahead in that order.
Okay, thanks. One of the things I asked in respect to some of the vendors that you have, is that something that you guys just work with individually, or did you know that some of the things that you wanted, maybe something we already have a partner with someone that may be able to provide you with a different price, or have you looked at whether people are willing to do in kind and provide some of those items for you to be a part of the restoration for the pavilion, and also the decor and so forth. It seems about you know, I guess we were talking about the pavilion per se, but when we start getting into the decor and all of that, I'm not sure how much money that is there, but like the air conditioning unit, people, have you gotten the second estimate? And again, the question is whether or not you have coordinated to see whether or not some of the people that we deal with already may offer in kind or reduced prices for some of the things that you're looking to provide for the pavilion.
So as far as your first question, you had two questions. So as far as, we're absolutely welcome, you know, other resources as far as all that goes. The air conditioning and all these things we are dealing with at real life time, which just happened Friday that we even found out it was an issue. So we haven't even had time to get quotes. However, we absolutely want to work with people we've worked with, who you've worked with, but we need to know those resources. So those we would need to know from a liaison on the board or whoever the communication is, because, you know, we're open to using whoever, you know, the list keeps getting bigger of what we need to do. So we have a lot of different things on the to-do list. So we'd like to. What was the other part of that question? Was there two parts?
The second part of the question was the inclusiveness of the decor for the facility. I know that's important, but that was something I would think would be secondary in terms of getting the facility up and running, and that might be some in-kind services that you would consider getting, as opposed to including that in the budget.
So I, you know, that is obviously up to the board, but I will say on my behalf, in my opinion, if we keep the benches in there that are already there, or we don't paint it and we keep it, you know, as it is, or we don't light it up, it's not, you know, we're having events in the evening, and we also have, you know, day events for families. So if it's bright and inviting, that's gonna make more of an impact. You know, that's my opinion on it. So if we do half of decor and keep some of it, as far as how much is in the budget, that's up to you. These are quotes from, you know, a local community member who does this as a planning, and she's offering to give her service, you know, to us and just charge us for the product.
Okay, and my question was that had you considered that there are people that actually do in kind, they will provide some of those products for you at no cost?
I have not, but I'm happy to hear any of those resources that you or anyone else has, because I didn't really consider it because I didn't know it was an option, to be honest. So yeah, I haven't considered it because I didn't know about it, but I am welcome to it.
Is it okay if I go, Rosie, are you done?
I'm done. My hand's
Okay.
down.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make a general statement. I think that when we went, even as a board and partnered with the farmers market team, I think we're uncovering some things, I guess, that nobody knew about. And so I do think that in the spirit of being a real partner, I think we should consider the fact that this is going to be a phenomenal event for the summer. And I think that our community needs some entertainment and some activity. And so I do think that we should really reconsider making some of these things happen. I also know that Debbie Stabenow, our senator, has been involved and has been made aware of what's going on. She's really excited. And so I'm actually in the process of looking for some funding from that aspect of government help as well. And so because this is going to be so high profile, and even with Margaret Diamond looking to want an expansion into the McLaren for some phase of nutritional market, aspect. We're not sure yet, but she does want to see how this can be an expansion. I think because this is going to be so high profile, we owe it to the community to give them something that's nice, something that's pleasant and presentable. If we're going to just change the name and keep it as it is, I don't think we're going to have the same impact. So those are just my comments. The last thing I want to ask is about the bathroom. And where do we anticipate the public using the bathroom facilities? Is it going to be at the library? Are they going to have that door open downstairs so they can come in and out of the library? Or I think that's something we should consider.
And that is part of my second list, Bernita, is there's a bathroom question on I have a whole list of questions that I want the board to consider to answer or whatever that we're not sure of as a team. Thank you.
I'm done.
Okay.
Can't hear you, Mel.
I'm gonna get it off.
So we can't hear Melanie. I think you're in a room with too many people. We can't hear you at all. It's just echoing, and it's really.
You know what? Should
It's a lot of feedback.
Oh, you yourself. You have to go. No, that's okay.
Oh, I can put it. Look here. No, man, I cut mine off so I can look over your shoulder.
It's not off.
It's off.
So let me make sure I got this straight. You're asking the library to spend $117,000. You're not asking.
We can't hear you.
Oh,
I cut it off.
let me know when you can hear me.
I cut mine off.
Can you hear me now? I can hear you though.
Because it's still on.
He's still on it, ain't you?
Yes, because we can hear him.
I cut it off.
We hear
No,
you.
you didn't, because we hear you.
Maxie, that's not, it's something else that's causing the problem.
But we can hear him.
I know, but I
Clearly.
Okay, do you hear him? You hear the echo now?
No, I don't hear it. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
It's better.
All right, great. You are trying to spend $117,740 and $700.44 on the
Okay.
pavilion, correct? That's the
Ongoing, long-term, correct.
Yeah, so here's my three problems. We didn't even buy a book truck because of the amount that it would have been. There is no way that the community is going to say, and feel that we are justified
Right.
$117,744.
I agree with Melanie on that.
No way.
No.
67,000, cool. 70,000, great. I'll even say 80, but the community will never be acceptable of us spending $117,744 when we don't even have a bookmobile.
Right.
You have to figure this out, because I have said it to you guys yesterday that if the number is astronomical, you're going to get it's going to be a problem. There is no way that you can make me feel comfortable spending
$117,700.
and
And what Melanie is saying,
40 more thousand, I'm cool. 50 more thousand, I'll take that.
When we went into this, we weren't looking at
There's
paying
no
this
way.
kind of money.
We don't
I agree, Melanie. I can't.
Maddie, we can hear you too.
I do
Cool.
agree, and I think there was a miscommunication with our team. And like I said, I am apologizing because there was a miscommunication because I really asking for this money. I can't even honestly do it. So
if I can interject,
I wasn't finished. I'm sorry.
My apologies. Go ahead.
I wasn't finished. And the reason why they're going to have a problem with it is because they're going to say, how is this in the long-term game going to benefit the whole community? And that's my only problem. If you can justify, if you can justify why we're spending $117,700.44 and convince me, then you can convince the community. Because
I agree with you, Melanie.
I'm not convinced. 40,000 more, I take it. 50, I take it. Ain't no way I'm going to agree to $117,700. That's all I got to say. No way. Keep talking though.
If Stacy, do you mind if I offer some clarity? So I understand your sentiment. I understand that, up front, the number is really high. However, when you're minusing the largest expense, which is the hood system, which that takes up the majority of the budget, we're looking at $67,000. A lot, 25,000 of that can be carried over to fiscal 2. The decor, a lot of that can be carried over to fiscal 2. So we provided this list as our wish to have these type of funds up front, because we want to present the very best when we kick off. I know that this seems like a large number. However, when you look at it from longevity standpoint, Pontiac and its downtown has been hurting for business inclusivity and bringing other people from outside and inside the community into the downtown area. We lost our arts, beats, and eats. We lost a lot of the things that made Pontiac such a wonderful epicenter right in the middle of Oakland County. And so what we're offering is an opportunity for the community to be reacquainted with the downtown by offering something that they can consistently not only come and get fresh vegetables, support local businesses, but also we can invite the local businesses in the social district to come into the Pontiac farmers market and cross promote. So we're already working with Main Street, and we're working with several other people from surrounding community to make this a robust experience. So yeah, it is a little bit of an investment up front that will have a long-term return. Again, the issue that we're hurting for now is that there's not a lot of attendance or enough attendance for our library. A lot of our community and a lot of our kids don't frequent the library as they should. This is a nice way for even the library to cross promote some of their events. You know, with everything being so secluded with the pandemic, this being an outdoors event is what the community needs at this moment.
Yeah.
So a lot of and I will say, but if you just take 45,000 and put that to the side, because we know that in order for this pavilion to be able to operate, that has to happen. And then you take that number, that 67,000, it doesn't seem as big of a blow. I know the overall is it's a lot to swallow. That 67,000, I'd say about 25 of that can go into fiscal 2. And that would be like our wish list of pendant lighting and stuff like that. Our team is willing to put in whatever efforts necessary, whether that is painting the picnic benches, for the first year, but we want to present the very best because we know Pontiac deserves it.
Okay, I want to ask you, can you hear me?
Yes,
I didn't know if I was muted or unmuted,
wasn't muted at first, but now then you got muted, but I wasn't finished, but go ahead.
but now y'all can hear me?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, I want to ask the board a question. Since this is way more than we thought it would be, do you want to continue to discuss this tonight? Or do you want the special group to meet and work on this and bring it back to us?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, I would rather, I just actually said to, I just was saying to myself that we probably need to revisit this. I just put in the chat. We need to revisit this and give a number that needed right now. So I think.
Okay, so I want to ask the board members if they would be willing to vote to send this back to our subcommittee and then bring it back to us at the next meeting.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Rosie.
Okay, would it be easier if we just said we wanted to table this until the subcommittee met and then reconvene at the regular board meeting to make a decision on it?
We could make a motion to table this, but I would want to make sure that the subcommittee.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Oh, yeah.
Make a motion to table this matter until the subcommittee reconvenes and then come back and present this for a vote at the regular board meeting, which would be the fourth
In 2 weeks.
Thursday. Yeah, in 2 weeks.
Is there support for that motion?
I
Vice
support.
Chair Earl support.
Okay, Vanita supported.
Yes.
Any discussion of that motion?
I think Jermaine Max has his hand up and.
I'm gonna give him an opportunity to
Okay.
talk in Perrier, but I'm gonna get through this motion first.
Oh, you don't want any discussion or
I'm gonna
anything?
get through this motion first. That's where I'm going next. To any questions or discussion on the motion?
All right.
Is there? Okay, Perry Earl, it's not pertaining to the motion, right?
No,
Perry
ma'am.
Earl?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Jermaine, is it pertaining to the motion?
Well,
No,
he can't talk on,
ma'am.
he can't talk on the
Okay.
motion anyway.
Then Melanie, call for the vote.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Vice Chair,
Yes.
Vice Chair Perry Earl?
Yes.
Huh?
Trustee Richardson,
Yes.
Trustee Maxey,
Maxie?
Yes.
abstain, it passed.
Okay, now
Say,
that
but my
that's
vote is
done.
yes.
I'm sorry, Ms. Duval. Trustee Duval,
Yes.
You didn't go through.
abstain.
Okay, now that that's happened, Jermaine speaks next. When Jermaine finished, Perry Earl speaks. And after that, Rosie and Benita, did you have your hand up too?
I'm putting my hand down.
I
Okay,
put my hand down too.
My hand up.
okay, then Jermaine is next, Perry Earl, and then Maxie. Jermaine,
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, we're going to come back to this matter. I don't think it's a point in me really proceed. But what I do want to say is that I have talked to several organizers that started markets such as Easter markets and other places. And I also been a part of organizations that wanted to start a farmers market, a similar project. And and the conclusion to that is that part of their budget and the amount of money that it actually takes to even start a project as such is at least 10 times the amount that we actually ask for. The programming in itself, the nutrition courses, and the community programs in itself is going to cost a lot of money. So I do want to just throw that out there and just say, let's really think about how much a farmer's market and a project like this really costs. Most of the costs we're eating up through other sponsors and out our own pockets. So I do want to just throw that out there, and I'll wait to finish the conversation when we come back to this matter.
Harry Earl?
My question was just to ask to make sure the committee was myself, Rosie Richardson, and Vernita, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear about that.
Maxie and Melanie? Melanie?
So I just wanted to be clear that when they come back, that they have like, what is the need to have priority number one? That's what my resistance is. This is not a need to have. This is bells and whistles and candy and chocolate. And I'm not interested in bells and whistles and candy and chocolate. I need a number that is going to be realistic, because we are using the taxpayers' money, and we have to remember that. And these votes will affect people on the long-term goal. So if you have justified means to make it make sense to me, I'm with it. But if it don't make sense to me, it's not gonna make sense to the John Q. public. I am for what y'all trying to do. However, I am not for having the citizens say, y'all gave $117,744. And how does that justify the literacy rate in the city of Pontiac? Make it make sense, I'm with it. If it don't, I'm not for it. That's it.
Maxie?
I agree with what the secretary just said. You know, we're the core of this community. And the leadership that we have, sometimes we have to step out on the fringes. We've always held back and minimized. But I say here's an opportunity to fully execute a program that will be beneficial to the community. And as we communicate with the citizens, the more we talk to them, the more they understand. But I understand exactly where Secretary Melanie is coming from. Just the B side, I don't think we should, may I use the word shortchange, be kind of narrow, because this is a full-fledged program. And I would recommend as before, a budget. And from the budget, you can draw. But this is our opportunity to step up leadership. We have no leadership other than the library. Let's step up and step out. And that's it. I'll go back to the committee. And I hope the committee realizes this is, I would say, once in a lifetime in this particular situation. We've got a chance to step out. And see, our committee is well versed from A to Z. And I wish I could. I propose a budget of $100,000 and draw from there. But otherwise, I agree with what the secretary is saying. We've got to step out, be careful, but communicate, which we have the capabilities to do to John Doe. That's it.
Well said.
Melanie, is your hand up again?
I was just saying, I agree with the number he just said, the 100,000, I'll be cool.
I like what he said too.
Okay, this is what I want to know. How soon will that subcommittee meet? Would you make me aware of when that meeting is?
I want to do it as early as next week as possible. I mean, we can't do it tomorrow unless you guys, I can't do it tomorrow, but I definitely want to I'll be texting you all, Rosie and Perry, or emailing you three to set up a time for as early as Monday or Tuesday.
Okay, thank you.
Is that okay with you, Rosie?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna put this off. And now we get to comments from the board. And I'm looking at the screen, so I'll start with Rosie. Do you have any comments?
I do have a couple of comments in respect to this. I'm excited about it, but I guess I got a little bit confused because we're talking about the pavilion, and I thought the farmers market was a separate entity from that, and that the resources that we get for that will be totally different. But at the same time, I'm glad that the board is not only expressing their opinions in terms of how we utilize funds, but there's also a couple other things regarding the mobile bookmobile and some other things I think are really pertinent. But I'm excited about how we're moving forward. And I think since the library has had new boards, we have been consistently being first class in the things that we're doing. So I'm excited about that. And as we continue to grow, because there was a time when people were saying they didn't even know the Pontiac Public Library was still open. And we've moved far beyond that. So I'm really excited about that and the activities that we've done. And so I'm looking forward to a better future.
Well
Perry
said.
Earl? Perry Earl, do you have
Yes.
any comments?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I want to know, to me, I feel like we don't have deep pockets. So I'm kind of worried that we will be cutting the operations of the library budget doing this. And then my other thing is I would like to see how much capital they're bringing to the table.
Okay, is that the last of your comment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Maxie?
Now, just to say, I'm very proud of the board and their expertise and background experience. And I just think that we're the only leaders in the city of Pontiac that makes a definite impact on this community. We're well-educated, well-versed, and everything seemed to be thought out without any animosity whatsoever. And in the final expressions, I like to compliment Ms. Rosa Richardson because she does dot the I's, cross the T's. And I'm quite sure we will come up with a positive answer, I consider positive, on this initiative, because this is it, you all. We step out, this is it. No other body, I'm telling you, in this community is together as much as we are with all this experience. So we're going to step up. Thank you, Ms. Richardson.
Thank you.
Benita?
That's all. I'm done.
Okay, my comment is, I'm glad we're moving forward on this. This does need to be massaged a little more. We can look at not only the end of this year budget, but as we're moving into 2021-22, we might need to be looking at our new budget year in terms of some of the things that we may be doing. So I am in support of the idea. However, the finances, I'm like Melanie, it's hard for me to justify a certain amount of money, and then my children can't get a bookmobile, although I'm hoping one of these other projects will bring the bookmobile into reality. That's what I'm hoping. But that's all I have to say. And Melanie, I believe you are the last one. Yeah, I've gotten everybody but you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is going to absolutely happen. However, it's going to have to be done in decency and in order. So it's not personal when I ask the questions while we're spending $117,000. It just has to make sense to me, because I don't want to get a phone call saying you hating on my project. No, I am not. What I am doing is doing my due diligence. I don't want to get a phone call saying, hey, you trying to stop us from flowing. No, I am not. Right. What I am doing is asking the right question, because when somebody comes to me, I want to be able to say, the reason why we spent X, Y, Z, Q, and W was A, B, C, and D. And at the end of the day, it has to happen that way, or it will never, ever be right. And so that's what I wanted to say, because I don't want to get a secret phone call. I want it to be known that I am not against it. I am against frivolous spending. That's it. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion that we
motion
adjourn the meeting.
I second.
Any discussion?
Oh,
Okay, roll call,
Madam Chair,
yes.
Vice Chair,
Yes, I'm sorry.
Treasurer Maxey,
Yes.
Trustee Duvall,
Yes.
Trustee Richardson.
Yes.
Yes, motion carried.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
everyone. I'll be in touch, Rosie and Terry.
Sure. Tuesday's good for me.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you.